Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to Arts and Wellness Cafe. Welcome today. Thank you for joining me, and thank you, my podcast listeners. Oh, it's a hot day today. We went out and oh my goodness, I was just like, do you know what? It felt like I had a heater, one of those old-time heaters, and it was sitting right in front of my face. It was just like the whole of my face just felt really hot. Anyway, so in today's video, what I'm going to be talking to you about is some of the fabric pieces that I've been working on. I've uploaded on my Instagram IG account just a short video, and I've got a couple of others just to show you the process in how I start my fabric pieces. And behind me, so this is a painting, but behind me this fabric piece may have been started in the same way. I mean, this has been batiqued and then like quilted together. I really like this one, and I've done some others that have got some embellishments and beads and stitches on. So I wanted to show you how the pieces start from very small fragments, and then I build on them. So that's one of the things I'm going to talk to you about. The other thing that I want to talk to you about is the artist materials bank. So I went today and picked up some stuff, so I want to show you. It's like an art haul. So I'll show you. Sorry, I think there's still some stuff in the bag. Anyway, I'll show you some of the things that I brought from there, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So, how are you doing? Now we're here. I really actually like this space. This is on the other side of my studio. So behind this wall, that's where my studio is. But we share. There's quite a large expanse of window, so you get some really nice light coming in here, and I really like this particular spot. And it's nice to have some of my art pieces behind me, as opposed to containers and storage stuff and all of that. But last week, and I will be sharing snippets of that video on my feed and on my feed of social media. But last week I talked about getting lost in the busyness and how easy it is sometimes to be so consumed with everything that's going on around you and all these other little things that you're doing, but these little things at that particular time don't lead anywhere, are just like, you're not going to either sell it, you're not passing on any information that will be useful to anybody else. It's literally just taking up your time. So these things that cause us to be busy just consume the time that we have, and then the things that we really want to do that will lead to an outcome or a benefit for somebody or even ourselves, it doesn't happen. So I hope that you've had time to think about that, and also because it really does impact on how you feel about yourself. If you're constantly doing things that you really don't have like an ending or a result, you can't then, the feeling that you feel is not, okay, I've completed that, I feel really great. It's like an emptiness. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know for myself that's how I can sometimes feel. Although these pieces sometimes, whilst there's not just an emptiness, like I think that you should always have a creative activity that you're doing. You decide what you want it to be. But you should always be doing something. So my morning practice is usually either laying down colour on fabric or paper, or in my journal, or making marks, or I've taken to ordering some stuff because that feels good to me as well. So if I spend half an hour ordering, say, I don't know, beads. If you've got a bead collection, I've got quite a big bead collection. I will show you this. I'll show you my bead collection one day. Then and that for me helps me kind of center, settle, prepare myself for the focus that I need to move on. So really do kind of take the time and think about that. And what I hope that you do is maybe use some of these tips and suggestions as an ongoing thing, and not just, oh my gosh, I didn't have time to do last week, and now you're on another thing, and I'm not going to have time. Oh, I'm just going to give up. So it really is just about you kind of considering these things and thinking about how they will impact on your health and well-being, but also know that the art that you do and that you should be doing on a regular basis, or the creativity, call it, because then that will encapsulate lots of things. So this week it's about, what is it about? You tell me what you're, how you're getting on, and leave a comment to let me know what your biggest concerns are at the moment, the thing that you're really, is really kind of getting to you and that you need to sort out. Can you just do me a favour? Can you just turn off the fan? That's my studio assistant here having a break. Not really, it's my son. But I just became conscious of this fan in the background and thinking, oh my gosh, is that kind of like, it sounds like a droning sound. But yeah, to really think about what is it that is the, you hear that? The stillness and peace. What is the thing that's driving you this week? Now, it's like midweek, and you may have got a list of things that you want to do. So what really is for you at the top of that list, and the thing that you really want to focus on more? And what I'd love you to do as well is to leave a comment about things that you'd like me to maybe consider or go into more, and then we could have a talk about that. So yeah, so this week, after I thought about the busyness and the things that I was working on or wanting to focus on, there's a thing that I'm working on. I might show you it, and I'll show you it next week actually, because it's actually, it was part of my busyness, but it provided me with stillness, if that makes sense. So it was a piece of art that wasn't scheduled to be worked on, but it was the colour that drew me to it, so I felt I had to. And I've been looking a lot at, there's several artists are using it, but it's the Tim Holtz, he's got some new colours out, and I'm not sure whether it's called rust or but it's like a burnt orange, and Queenpreneur Rachel uses that colour a lot. This was before he brought it out, but she uses that colour a lot, and she does a lot of mark making and tribal symbols and things like that. They're really gorgeous, so go and check her out. So I saw this colour. The colour, I had used it in this piece prior to even seeing any of this. I think I did it last year and started stitching, and the colours, the threads that I've used are this like a really bright orange, but then you've got the burnt orange and you've got some blues and purples going on in there, and it's a really vibrant piece, and I really love it. So it's just like, no, I have to be working on this, so I'm just kind of stitching away. So that's one of the things that I've been working on. And the other thing now is the focus. So out of the busyness comes the focus. What things is it that you need to do? So I've been making lists and drawing up tables, and I will interject the Artist Materials Bank, because one of the things I got from there has enabled me to go large and do some other things that I really wanted to do. So the Artist Materials Bank, or Supplies Bank, is held at the Queen's Park Gallery. And basically what you can do is, people are donating, and other artists are. I took down 3 suitcase loads of stuff, and these were things that I've been using in my studio that, you know, okay, I haven't touched it for like 4 or 5 years, or, you know, books that I've had for the longest, or magazines that are in mint condition. I tell you, they are in mint condition. So I took a load of stuff down, and the first week I went and I took some stuff. They give you a bag. So they give you a bag, this bag, and you can fill it. You just go around the gallery and fill it with whatever things you like to try. So the aim of it is to, especially in these times, is to provide a way for artists, if they want to experiment on new supplies and products, they can. There's lots of fabric down there, books. I brought books, magazines that are either craft based or art based. So if you're interested in learning about art and techniques, watercolors, oils, the magazines go through the whole thing. Or if you're into crafts and paper crafts, I brought a whole load of craft magazines where, again, you can make cards, you can make anything that you can think of that you can make out of paper is in these magazines. The other thing that I brought down there was the Photoshop. So Photoshop magazines. So if you're interested in, you know, 3D digital art, ZBrush, then I brought down loads of magazines like that, and then art books, you know, how to draw, and then different aspects of art, you know, making boxes, making books, and making, like, you know, art journals and things like that. So there's those kind of things, and then there's things like paper. If you're into paper crafts, there's things like tissue paper, there's beads, there's shoes. So when you think of fabric, think of all the things that you could make out of fabric, or that has been made out of fabric. So there's things like actual clothes, fabric that's not been made into anything, and shoes. What else? There's a really nice pair of leather boots there, but it's a brand new, but it doesn't fit me. Anyway, so people have brought down, organisations have brought down. I brought down, actually last week I brought down some paints and things like that. So there's a whole range of things that are there, and as I say, you can go with and you'll be given a bag, and then you just fill it up and see what kind of things you might want to work on. So it's a great idea to be able to try something without having to invest fully on, you know, like all the tools and the supplies. Like if you want to work with beads and you haven't, you can get, like I brought today, I've got some beads, so some, this is one of my favourite colours, and I've got a couple of pieces that I'm working on. You can see I do use it in my art, and then I've got another bag of beads. Like the thing that I'm working on at the moment is like an orange colour, so I got some of these beads, and then I saw these kind of glass beads, so I thought, oh, they might be nice as well. And then again, going with the same orange coloured theme, I saw these bags of beads, so I got that. And then I saw this, it was just the only one, so I picked this up and I thought, it's a button, and I thought, oh, that would look nice. So as you can see, if you're a mixed media artist, or if you just want to try, if you want to try beading, or you want to try, and if you can think of anything you can potentially try, you've got things that you can work on there. They've got calabashes. So if you want to get into calabash carving, I got a calabash as well, and I thought to myself, oh, I wonder if the seeds are still viable. So apparently when it goes brown, it's ready to be, you know, used, cut, and the seeds scooped out. So mine's now going brown. It's practically all brown, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to cut it open, get out the seeds, and plant some. What else? So the paper, yeah, so I got this, I think it's the newspapers, when they print the papers, they use these rolls, and they print however many they're going to print. And I know that you can pick up rolls of paper from, I think it's The Nation that does it, and for like, you know, under $10, if you think, a roll like this. So I found this roll and I thought, oh, that would be perfect because I want to do some life-size figures. So it's an idea that's brewing in my head. So I got my assistant, my son, to model for me. So I've got his outline. So I want to maybe do something in the theme of, you know, the way that this whole, you know, worldwide event has kind of impacted, and just picking up on some of the themes that have been going on. So I'm teasing those ideas out. But the other thing I like doing is I like writing my lists on big sheets of paper. So it's just like, you're not going to miss this, you're going to see it. But I also like, it helps me formulate ideas. So I would, you know, do big kind of mind maps and then, you know, work out a lot of things on paper, and then you know, go through them and work through them. So what else did I buy? I didn't buy. What else did I get? I got some, as I'm doing a lot of slow stitching, I got some fabric. And again, it just seems like, I mean, this is just bits of fabric. So it's literally, that's it. That was that bit. But I just thought this is a really nice colour for small, slow stitch projects. That's all I need really. And then some, I haven't even looked at this, but just some, you know, shimmery fabric. So again, it's in the similar colour to what I'm already working on. So I was pleased with that. Sorry, I'm looking over there because it looks like it's my neighbour, but it isn't. It's actually a bush in the shape of my neighbour. Anyway, so these bits were in bits, and then the other thing I was able to get was, look at that. So I'm going to put that on not a spool, but I'm going to put it on something. But again, I use quite a bit of ribbons and things like that, and this is like ideal for a lot of the projects that I've got coming up. And then look, oh my gosh, when I saw this, it was just like, oh my gosh, ribbon, or yeah, like ribbon, lace, but it's quite thick. So I was pleased with that. So as you say, you know, as I say, so if you think about your own studio space and the kind of stuff that you have, and I can't say if you're like me, but I look after my stuff, and what I find is that, and what I say is, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So I would find, like, you know, oh yes, I've got my paints up in there, and like I haven't used them for a while, and all of this kind of stuff. And then when you go to use them, you find that they're dried up. So that's a waste, isn't it? It's a waste of money, a waste of your money. And, you know, if you've not used it in 2 years, then this kind of thing where you can exchange, or you can take in and you see what else somebody else has left, and, you know, it might be something that you can use. The other thing you can do, because I know that this project isn't going to be for like forever, it's like, you know, it's actually a gallery it's in, so they're going to want to start putting up exhibits. But is to connect with other artists. So it may be other artists in your same field, and maybe you can come together and say, okay, well, here are the things that I've got that I no longer use, and we'll all come together and we'll have like an exchange day, and, you know, you decide whether, you know, it's one of your tubes of paints is worth whatever it is that they've got. But that's something where, you know, everybody can come and try different products without having the you know, the expense of having to go out and buy it and then find, actually, I don't really like working with those materials. And it's really weird about the for me, it's really weird with the stitched projects because I always said I do not have time to do that, and there's no way I would sit down and do that. And the other thing that I've said that about is felting, but I've seen some beautiful projects that use felting, or the felted projects. So I was just like, you know, I'm never going to say never about things, because I've already proved to myself, you know, like I did 100 days of pastels where I was just like, I hate pastels. Even just talking about pastels, I can feel the feeling at the end of my fingers, the way they make me feel. But I've got over the kind of, the not wanting to get my hands dirty, and just, I jumped in, and that 100 days really, I really enjoyed it. So anyway, let's move on quickly. I found this. It's probably just a table mat, but I thought I would do something creative with it, and maybe kind of incorporate some fabric and make it into something different. But ordinarily, I wouldn't, like, if I saw this in the shops, I wouldn't be buying it to then deconstruct it or do whatever it is. It's just like, but because I know that I've picked this up for free, I can actually, somebody actually made this. Yeah, because you can see where they've glued the bits. Anyway, so, but I liked the roundness, so there may be some projects that come out with this, or I could use it as a stencil, a big giant stencil. That'd be nice. Ooh, I'm thinking fabric, yeah, and kind of eco-dyed, and then I get some spray paints and I do big stencils of this. That's actually, yeah, I think that's what I'll use it for, as a big stencil. Love it. Okay, and then the last, I saved the best for last. I love material, but look what I got. I think this is curtain material. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Isn't it gorgeous? So if you're the person or the organisation that donated this to the Queen's Park Gallery, thank you so much. It's gorgeous. And I'm really looking forward to some of the projects I would use this on is, say, as backing to some of my wall hangings, or I'm thinking, you know, like some of the slow stitch projects, or even things like, you know, actually, we can make some cushions with this. Cushion covers. Who knows? But, you know, now I'm able to do that with fabric that it might have been out of my price range. I think it probably would have been, maybe, to have brought all of this. Who knows? But it wouldn't have been something, it wouldn't have been a priority for me. So I would have said maybe brought something else. But now that I've got it, I can use it. So I would recommend that you take the time to not only see what you've got in your art supplies that you can maybe donate to the Queen's Park Gallery, and go down there and see. But not enough people are coming to take the stuff, so, you know, definitely go down. You don't even have to fill the bag if you really can't see anything that you want, but think about the things that you would like to try out, and, you know, and see it from a different perspective. See how you can experiment using the stuff that's there. If you've always wanted to get into assemblage art, but you've never had enough of the supplies, there's ample there. There's even natural fibres. There's the leaves from the, oh, she did say, it's like a palm tree, the palm tree fronds, and there's the coconut husk things. So, you know, think about dyeing, think about dyeing material, fabrics, carving, stitching, sewing, home decor, jewellery making. Because with the jewellery, you know, yes, it's already made. So I mean, I thought, oh, this looks so pretty, but I'm going to use this in one of my stitch projects. And what I'd probably end up doing, what I normally do is take this apart, separate out the beads, and then put them together with other things. But sometimes what I do is, like, I take a repeated pattern like that and then just make elements where they can be the dangly bits of a piece of art that I'm doing. So, and the same here, you know, I would go through and probably add this on, like if this was fabric, I would add this on and use it on some projects that you know, you didn't think that you would be able to do because you didn't have the means to buy it. You know, now you can go to a place and pick up a whole range of things and actually try and experiment, and all you need is a bit of, you know, not a glue stick, but hot glue and a glue gun and your imagination. So if you think about it like that, a lot of the things there really get you to think about things that you would, you know, you want to experiment with, but, you know, can't necessarily make that investment. And even for me, the paper, I've always wanted to get a whole roll of paper. You really don't know how happy that makes me, and that's because I've got a addiction to paper. Well, I had an addiction to paper. I managed to quell it over the years because I just couldn't bring any more into the house. But yeah, with that roll, do you know how many things that I can do? So I mentioned, before I go on to this last bit, definitely go down. They're open between Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 9:30 till 4. So you can go down, you can you'd be given a bag and go around and collect. Everything has to go. So, you know, at the end of September, if those things aren't gone, I don't know, I'm not sure what they're going to be doing with it, whether it's going to be donated to a, I don't know, thrift store. It's not those kind of things. You need to go and get the stuff. Yeah? There's so much stuff down there. You need to go get your bag and start experimenting. So I'm encouraging you to do that. Can I tell you even more? So the last thing that I wanted to share with you is, as I said earlier, I was working on some fabrics, and I'll show you here, because if you're not on Instagram, you may not be able to go and see what I did. So what I showed you really is how to apply paint to fabric in a creative way and create patterns, designs on the paper, on the fabric, sorry, very simply, and use them in stitch projects. So all of these pieces here that I've done, they've had several layers of paint and 3-dimensional paint, and then I've just gone and written on there with, you know, drawn on there with dimensional paint. And these are ones that I'm going to be using in my mini stitch projects. See, I'm not even sure. It's never pre-planned. I'll be sitting there and I might take a piece of this, and, you know, see how they work together. This is the other piece that I did. Or I might just take a little bit and add it to a larger piece. I allow the background to, this sounds funny, I allow the background to decide what it wants to create. Yeah? So, and then when I'm thinking about imagery, I don't think about the images. I allow the background to settle down itself and then see what emerges from the background. So I don't think about, I play with the paint. I allow myself the freedom to just apply and go with how I feel, which is what I will show you. And in the next 2 videos that you'll see on my Instagram and YouTube. And after I've done that, so this was just, I'd spray painted it first, and then I added the dimensional paints, but I added them as if through a stencil. So I've got some sequin waste, and I pushed the dimensional paint through the sequin waste, and then added some marks. And I actually like the way that it looks. And if you imagine, like this is chamois leather, however you say it, but I might then split it up into bits, and I get the interesting part of that particular piece, and that may become a feature on, you know, another stitch piece. So those, I just wanted to show you those. And so to round up, remember, if you're in Barbados, of course, obviously, to go down to the Queen's Park Gallery on Wednesday, between Wednesday and Friday, and see what things there are. See, you know, go and collect some stuff and try some new stuff. Even if you're not an artist, you can go down there and pick up some stuff. And you know, you might want to try something. So, you know, you don't have to be an artist to go and get some of the stuff. If you're not in Barbados, and maybe you want to start an artist materials bank between, you know, a few of your artists that you have, or maybe you want to encourage, you know, a local gallery that may be closed at the moment, or, you know, wherever it is, a craft store, to have an area where, you know, people can just come and donate, or, you know, pick up, or, you know, your local community centre, you might want to start something there. So there's always possibilities and ways in which you can, you know, get involved. You know, again, use your imagination. And then the painted fabric. So it's time to experiment again. So that's why I really love this idea, because you can experiment even if you're on a budget. And if you've got fabrics at home and you'd like to experiment with some mixed media techniques, I'm going to be putting out a couple more videos on just, you know, showing you how easy it is to lay out the colour. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what you get up to and how you have incorporated some of the ways in which you can work in terms of you moving forward. So thank you for joining me. Sorry I didn't have any tea for you this time round. Been drinking loads of water because it's just really hot. I'm not complaining, but thank you for joining me. If this is your first time round, yeah, if this is your first time round, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified of any new videos that I do. For my podcast listeners, I will be updating my blog and my Patreon, so you can go and see the images that I shared, or hop over on my YouTube channel and take a look so you can see some of the stuff that I got. Okay, take care for now, and I will see you very soon.